Okay, we just went through the transition. Now we're up at the harmonics. Okay, and after that transition, you just want a harmonic. By the way, I've got a little bit of a detailed tutorial on harmonics under the Unforgettable Fire tutorial playlist series. So, pardon me, one of the part 1 or part 2 is I forget which part it was, but it's in the beginning and I go through harmonics. Since there's so many harmonics used in Unforgettable Fire, I thought I would do a little tutorial. So if you're looking for a tutorial on harmonics, check that out. So it's a little harder for me to play up here, but I'll do it so you can see the picking better. But essentially, after that transition, you play the D, G, and B together as a harmonic. And it sounds great with the drive. The drive really brings that out. That chunky laser-like sound that Edge is getting is the SD1 or TS9 drive. Okay, that's what it is without the delay or the drive. Okay, now I'm going to play it with the delay on. And then it's pretty simple. Okay, so all he does is play all those together, and then he plays D twice on the B and the G. And then he does that again. And then he does B, G, D. And then again. And then again. And then goes into the main riff. Sometimes that last one, I think he plays the D harmonic also. And then back into the main riff. Okay, so all the harmonics after the transition. Okay, so one more time. And pretty straightforward, nice and simple, but wonderful tone, wonderful little lick that Edge does there. One of my favorite parts of the song, and the tone that comes out with the harmonics. So what we've come up with now, we've built up to the following. We've done, I'm going to go through the beginning of the main riff, the slowdown in the main riff, the transition, and then the harmonics. Keep going with the main riff. And in some versions, after this main riff, so you've done the harmonics, you're in the main riff, I believe in R&H, or one of the versions, Edge just keeps doing the main riff until before he gets to the chorus with the big chords. At least I think that's the chorus. Sometimes he does another little transition riff in here. So I listened to a version where he just kept doing the main riff straight through. So it went like this. So he ended the harmonics. And So he just ended on that. And then you're going to go up here to the D. So I just kept playing the riff all the way through, the main riff, without changing it up. But Edge has been known to change this up at this part in the song and play a little another transition riff. I didn't do it because I was listening to one of the versions, and what version I was working with at the time had no transition riff here. I'm going to show you a second version of the transition riff later before the lead that you could also use here. So let me back this up for a second. Instead of doing just this, so that was just the main riff, and at the end of the main riff, you end on. At the end of the main riff, you end on this. We'll go through that in a minute. But what you could also do is there's a version of the transition that I found in another song. It's before the lead guitar, and it sounds something like this. So there's all sorts of variations of the notes within this phrasing that Edge is essentially playing. And you can find whatever notes you like in any order you want within that phrasing, and it's going to sound really good. You just want to fill the measures appropriately before you switch to the next part. I'm changing it up a little bit there every time. All sorts of stuff you can do. But you should try to do something different there, because otherwise the song, if you're always playing the same exact main riff, it's simpler and easier to remember and play, but you're missing a little bit of some of the differences in the song, the subtleties of the song that I think make it a lot more interesting. Again, just my opinion. So we've done this transition. And we'll go through another transition a little later that's slightly different before the lead. And you'll notice we'll go up to D. And on this D, I'm only playing, Edge is either playing the D and the G or the D, G, and the D. I'm not playing the E string. Okay? I'm not playing the whole chord. I don't do that. Don't play the E string. It's just. Okay, so let's stop there for a moment to take a quick break. I'm going to do an edit here, and we'll start on the main chord picking parts and the strumming down here as the next part of the tutorial.